He is a member of Institution of Civil Engineers UK, also a chartered engineer, and has a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Bangalore, and master's from University of Kentucky as well. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Chandramouli. We also have with us Mr. Prashant Kumar, who's head of downstream business, TMT Projects and Solutions, Tata Steel Limited. He has almost a decade and a half of experience in this sector, heading downstream businesses and managing several downstream reinforcement solutions. And he has a master's in construction management and also a bachelor's degree in engineering, in civil engineering. Mr. Kumar, please. We're very happy to have with us Dr. Hari K. Parameshwar, who is Director of Design and Build at Shapoorji Pallonji and Company Limited. He's an infrastructure management professional with 30 years of experience in planning, design, and development of airports and urban infrastructure. And he's managed mega projects and spearheaded environment and sustainability initiatives as well. We first interacted with him when he was Executive Director and Global Aviation Head for AECOM. He's also in the past been Executive Vice President for GMR Airports and also been Vice President of Bangalore International Airport as well. He's an engineer with the MBA in Operations Management, and he's actually, I should be calling him Dr. Parameshwar. And Dr. Parameshwar, this is... And the doctor comes from having a PhD in business administration. Dr. Parameshwar, please. And finally, we have with us Mr. N.K. Singla, Vice President and Plant Head for Surya Roshni Limited. He's got about 3.5 decades of experience in manufacturing quality assurance of steel pipes. He has a bachelor's degree in technology from Thapar College of Engineering. Mr. Singla, please. So this is, so the questions that we are hoping to discuss today are strategies for timely and cost-effective construction, best practices in project management, potential role of technology and automation. And then since we have people from Surya Roshni and Tata Steel, there'll be some questions for them specifically relating to their business and their products as it relates to construction of airports. Let me, so we're going to make this a freewheeling Q&A thing. We won't have opening remarks and that sort of thing. Just some questions that I'm going to ask. We have about 55 minutes for this. So I'm hoping to do my questions in about 35, 40 minutes, and maybe 15 minutes will be questions from the audience. Okay. Dr. Parameshwar, if I can begin with you, how has construction changed from the time that you first got involved to what you're seeing right now? And in terms of what, and I'm assuming change for the better, but if it hasn't changed for the better, then feel free to point that out as well. The mic should work.
Yeah, thanks, Alok. Yeah, I think, the session is, basically focusing on two aspects of airport construction. One is the time, and second is the cost. So to specifically to answer your question, okay, let us draw a line somewhere, say 10 to 12 years, in the past. I think all the projects what we have taken up in the last 10 to 12 years, let it be greenfield projects like Kannanur or Goa or even Navi Mumbai, most of these projects are delayed. And I think most of these projects are also cost overrun. But if you take maybe 10, 12 years before, for example, Bangalore Airport and Hyderabad Airport, I was associated with Bangalore Airport. We delivered that project on time. And those time, if you look, there was no expertise, airport expertise with the private sector. That was a time, in fact, the people like me, we moved from airport authority to private sector. And even the government, regulatory authorities, they were more stringent, more bureaucratic. Even this global consultant, today we have a lot of expertise. Most of the global consultants are there in India. Those days when those expertise were not there. And even the contracting firms like L&T, they hardly had any experience of building airport. But despite all these adversities, even Bangalore, during the midway, due to unprecedented the traffic growth, the entire scope got changed. It has become almost double. What we started and what we built was almost double. And towards end, even government whatever the commitment government made about the connectivity, they could not fulfill. Then we had to take up entire, including the trumpet flyover of around 1.2 kilometers. Still, we could complete that project on time. And we opened the airport exactly, as committed. Same was the case with the Hyderabad. Hyderabad, they had a different set of challenge when they had to throw out the EPC contract in the halfway, then they had to bring another EPC contractor. But still they could complete that project on time. And even a couple of projects taken up by GMR abroad, Istanbul you take it, or even Cebu. Cebu is recent one, not before 10 years, which I was heading. All these projects we could complete, on time, and mostly within the budget, not much variation from the budget also. Cebu, in fact, there was a big challenge. We could not get the land on time, and there have been multiple challenges. Halfway, we had to again retender the things. And it was an unknown area. Even government was willing to give us 6 months extension of time, which we refused. And we opened that airport on the last day of the, the original, the agreement we had with the government. The midnight we opened the airport. So today, the things have changed a lot. We have technology, we have, more liberal policies in place. We have a lot of expertise to support. But still most of the projects, whether it is greenfield or brownfield project, we are not able to complete on time. I think if we, instead of, looking and debating why we are not able to complete this project, I think we should look back, the previous project. Despite all the adversities, why those projects were delivered on time. If you more, think in that aspect, probably, that will be the right way of taking this debate forward. So, few things which I found those days. One is, the commitment of the promoters, the stakeholders. Their commitment very strong. For example, Bangalore, even L&T and Siemens were the main EPC, but they were also owners. So the decision making was so fast. Every week, the promoters sit together, the contractors sit together. Every issues were discussed then and there. The debated and a decision was taken. And second, the collaborative approach. Same was the case with GMR. I worked with the GMR. I have seen their way of working is also same. It is not about the owner versus contractor. Today, most of the projects are handling owner, PMC, the contractor. There's a different way. Everything has changed now. The way we handle the project. Those days sit across. The decisions are in the interest of project. Everybody debate, and finally, what is right for the project? We need to move forward. We can't get stuck here. The decisions were taken. And the third one, the way we are handling the project. Those days, there is a promoter, there is the bigger contractor. The relation was between a promoter and the contractor. Today, the environment has changed a lot. The owner, first, they have a concept, then we bring a feed consultant, mostly an architectural firm. They don't have right expertise. They bring multiple sub-consultants. Then they come out with a preliminary design. Based on that, they call an EPC tender where the right information, which for a contract, an EPC contractor has to put a price. The required information may not be there. What we are generally getting is something like an LOD 100 kind of a design. Even to take the quantities, what we need at least minimum LOD 200, then the contractor has to develop it further, make another level of design, then take the quantities. Lot of bid queries, maybe 1,000, 2,000 bid queries will be there from multiple bidders. And most of the replies, what is coming is, okay, refer the RFP. Because RFP is not clear, I am asking a question. Most of the time the answer is, refer the RFP back. Then what do we do? We had to make assumptions, right? Based on a lot of assumptions, we put the things, and the tender is, once it is awarded, all this debate starts, the confusions, right? And again, the contractor may not have the right expertise. We have to get a design consultant. Whatever the design consultant is giving us, right or wrong, I don't know. Then I need to have another peer reviewer consultant and a value engineering consultant. They again bring multiple sub-consultants. Now to oversee another aspect has come, that's a lender's engineers. Again, government appoints somebody else above the owner to check what is happening. Now these multiple stakeholders managing a project, you think about a small decision, including a variation need to be approved, or some changes are required in the design. It takes a lot of time, right? So there are a lot of changes, I think, in the last 10, 15 years, if you take it, the way the projects were handled earlier. The way today we are handling the project, it's a big change. And maybe one more element which I just like to bring here is about the leadership. So I'm not telling that we lack leadership, but the projects need to be driven. The project doesn't happen. Even though we speak about project management, you will always, all these projects which I mentioned earlier, which was completed on time, you'll always find that one guy, okay, he could be sitting anywhere, maybe on the promoter side or on the consultant side or the contractor side. That one guy who drives the project, he's seen everywhere, he wear multiple hats, move around. He doesn't leave something and drive this project. So that kind of a strong leadership is always required for us to deliver a project on time. Okay. I think this is what I thought, maybe
okay, good.
Set the tone.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, I was hoping for a bit more Q&A back and forth, but this is good. So, Mr. Chandramouli, I'm going to ask you to do much the same. Give us your thoughts, not just specific, answer to a question, on strategies for timely and cost-effective completion and best practices. I guess it's all in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Hari speaks out of experience, so you can't say much as what Hari has told. But yeah, I mean, if you look at how the industry was 15 years back and the industry now, I think there are many more projects coming up now. Earlier, the focus was there were 2-3 projects, bigger projects going on. Now the resources are spread thin. They are all over the place. And even yesterday, L&T and Tata projects, everybody were talking the same thing, that they're not able to find the people. They're not able to find resources. There's a shortage. So shortage of labor, shortage of managers, shortage of engineers, specifically when you talk about the airport sector as such. And I mean, you can always say, okay, pavement, maybe people who have been doing roads and highways, they can come over to do some pavement, there's some commonality there. People who are doing buildings can come and help in doing the terminals. So there are some interchangeable things happening in terms of shortage of people and trying to fill in the people. So getting the right people for the right position and managing the complexities which is coming within the airport environment compared to either a highway or the road or a bridge or a terminal, a normal building, a commercial building. So these are the things, these are the challenges that people are facing in terms of able to deliver the project. And given the advancement of technology, the airports are becoming more complex. There are more newer technologies coming in and more demand coming in from expectations from the user point of view. So all those complexities put together is trying to make it more complicated. And one of the classic example is by the time you conceive the airport design and by the time you deliver it, there's so many changes that have happened in terms of technology. I'm talking about specifically data, information technology part. And the promoter or the end users want to add those additional features by the time the airport opens, because construction takes 5 years, technology goes faster. How do you catch up and how do you incorporate those advancements within the technology? So what IoT was existing 4 years back is not the same IoT that's existing now. So how do people keep up and try to incorporate the latest ones, what is required for the airport using requirements? So these are the challenges. There are challenges and there are, I think, resources also to make up for those challenges and catch up and take it forward. So those were my observations I would like to add to what Hari has said.
Yeah. Let me go back to Dr. Parameshwar. Dr. Parameshwar, what are the 2 or 3 things you would want to, construction companies to focus on in order to just get there in a timely and cost-effective fashion that perhaps they weren't paying attention to before? So, 2 or 3.
Okay. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, so one challenge here, what we found most of the airport projects today, when I'm telling again that the projects are getting delayed. So all our airport projects we are taking upon a time pressure. The owner may take 1 year, 2 years to finalize their concept design. That's what we found, but they expect the contracting company to do some miracle. Okay, so the design, for example, to make a detailed design, the time generally given is 4 to 5 months. Whereas to make a 20% design, they took more than 1 year, right? They expect the contracting company to make. It's not possible. And second, the timeline, what they are fixing, 2 years or 3 years, there is no rationale behind that, just okay, a timeline was drawn. So what we do now, mostly, when we get a bid, an EPC bid, what we do is, we develop a model, a BIM, the model we develop it, and we also partly do the Primavera programming. Then what we do, we integrate it both at the bidding time itself to make a 4D model, so that you see day-to-day activities. If it is a 2 years timeline you are given, in 2 years, which are the activities are going to happen in which day, and whether it is actually practical for us to do it. Now, as a contract, I can't go back to the client and say that, sorry, I can't complete in 2 years, I'm going to take 3 years, my bid will be rejected. But at least I know the risk involved. Okay, so I expect the owners, whether it is BL or GMR or any owners, to do this exercise before they are floating even a tender. Okay, always integrate your whatever the program you made, along with a model, BIM or SIM, whatever you have done. And make sure that whatever the activities, all these WBS, properly you break it down and see that this is happening within the time frame. If that exercise is done by the owner, then issue a tender document. It will become very easy for a contracting company to make a proper commitment. So this is what, if you wanted me to
yes, no, I
about
think that's,
funding,
yeah.
That is what we,
That's
as
what,
a
that's
contractor
what,
perspective,
that's what you would,
that,
yeah. Mr. Chandramouli, if I can come back to you as well. What are the things to avoid? What are the things one should not do? So what are the pitfalls that one should avoid?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question to answer. If you know there are pitfalls, you will already avoid them.
Right.
Not that when it comes to that stage.
But pitfalls that maybe you can see, maybe the people who are there on the road don't see. So.
Yeah, I think the thing is to have a practical view as to how much of technology you can absorb or you can get into a public using facility. You put too much of technology in, and there are people who are very technologically challenged people. I mean, you have people of all ages coming into a public facility. So one is reaching out and very ambitiously saying, I'm going to involve so much of technology that some section of the public will not be able to use it. That's one of the biggest pitfalls. People are eager to absorb and embrace so much of technology, and some people are even scared to use them. So have something for everybody. Make it a general public facility that is available for everybody. That's one of the biggest challenges, a balance to be done, how much and how less, kind of a thing. That would be one of the biggest things.
All right, okay. Let's draw some of the partners into the picture as well. Let me begin with Mr. Singla. Mr. Singla, any thoughts you have on strategies for timely, cost-effective construction? Your focus is more lighting and pipes, etc. But do you have any thoughts on this?
Good morning,
and
everyone.
then I will ask you questions about materials and piping later on as well.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really delighted to sit in the company of such knowledgeable people, well experienced into the airport constructions. As far as me is concerned, I'm from Surya Roshni, a name which you can see on the back screen also. We are mainly into steel pipes and, of course, lighting products also. The Surya LED. Now, the on-time delivery and quality. It comes hand to hand. For on-time delivery, the selection of vendors plays a vital role. The capacity and the capability to deliver the product, best quality product on time as per the customer requirements. Now, in that direction, what I suggest is, what I have experienced in my career, I have seen projects, big projects, even the Abu Dhabi airport project, where we had supplied pipes for the sprinkler system, firefighting systems. The capacity and capability assessment of vendors is very important to be assessed prior to the placement of orders. Simply buying the product from the market, open market, maybe a branded, maybe approved from the authorities, may not be sufficient.
So you're saying they should do much more homework before they.
I mean, the facilities, the credentials, the facilities which are audited, inspected by the agencies like, let me say, EIL.
Okay. So let me go back to Dr. Parmeshwar. Dr. Parmeshwar, do companies like yours or FCONs or Tata Projects, etc., do they do this assessment?
See, mostly what happens, there is an MSL list in every tender. The owner make an initial assessment and they come out with an approved list. And we don't have freedom to go out unless we prove that none of these MSL vendors are available in the market. We can't change the MSL vendor. Now, yes, within the vendor, yes, there could be multiple products, multiple qualities, but there's again a detailed specification there. So on a contractor front, I don't think that we are allowed to do there. But one thing what we do is, as I said, the SSI start in the bidding stage itself, because the market is very, very volatile and the price changes every day, the availability, demand changes. So what we do, we put this, the most of the major products into multiple categories and mostly focus on these LLIs, the long lead items, import, where we have a risk. Then we enter into some kind of an MOU with the vendor at the time of bidding itself. So there is a commitment from the vendor that he would deliver on time, and also the price, some ceiling we put in the MOU. That's what we do.
All right. Any suggestions you have for people like Dr. Parmeshwar?
On this, one more to add to my what I was saying. See, there are manufacturers and suppliers in the market who will meet the technical requirements. Just they manufacture the pipes just to meet the technical requirements, whereas exceeding the requirements, that is more important nowadays. There are second grade, third grade manufacturers and suppliers will just make the product just meeting the requirements. Whereas whether the customer wants, there is any supplementary requirement or not, but there are suppliers, manufacturers who have got their own standards to exceed the minimum requirements. So that is very much important for the projects like airports, which are of high importance, because airport is one area where any city, any country, the airport gives the first impression when a visitor enters that area.
Right.
So that has to be of the best level. Okay. That's what I
Thank you. Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Kumar now, who's been listening very patiently. Mr. Kumar, I've had some conversations with your group over the last year or so, and you've tried to tell us about the innovations that you have, which you feel are not only innovations in terms of quality, but also will enhance affordability, right? So could you tell us about the innovations that you've got, and then how their particular relevance to airport projects?
Yeah. We heard Mr. Hari, we heard Mr. Sundar, we heard Mr. Singla as well. So what we could understand from there is that the projects are getting delayed. we are suffering in terms of the resource availability. We do not have sufficient manpower available. There are quality conscious people available in the market, and we need to also focus in the kind of manpower we have, right? In the terms of providing those services as well. So these are the challenges which I have understood. So coming from Tata Steel, what I understand is that it is our responsibility as well, being a part of the value chain, construction value chain. We can also contribute to these challenges. Huh? So when we talk about construction, there are many people sitting in this forum, and you can always relate to what I'm saying to you right now. That whenever we talk about construction, the first thing which comes into our mind is excavation. We see a lot of reinforcement, we see a lot of concreting happening, right? A lot of manpower working at the site. We call it as, somebody quoted in Singapore that the construction today is dirty, dangerous, and demeaning, right? And the task or the challenge which Tata Steel has taken up from that sentence, we want to make it into, earlier we wanted to make it 3E, now we are making it into 4E. First is exciting, economical, and environment friendly, and there's one more thing, eco-friendly. Yeah, environment friendly, eco-friendly, the three things, three E's. So sustainability is a big factor. Taking care of all the cost margins and all which the company should generate. So we are into a parallel design system. While the design keeps on happening, we start the construction. So we need to focus on the level of detailing. Of course, we need to have better level of detailing at the time of getting the codes and all. So Tata Steel here plays a very big role because we want to be your solution partner in the journey of construction by providing you not just the commodity. We just don't want to deliver you the steel. We want to give you the value. We want to give you the value by going one step down. That's how the downstream business, which I take care, comes into play. We want to do the cutting and bending for you. Instead of asking your 15-man gang doing 1.5 ton a day, we want to deliver you 30 tons, 60 tons of cut and bend solution, and that guy doesn't want to be working in a dangerous situation. It has to be like only placement and fixing. By that, you can increase your productivity, achieve your timelines. Plus, we can also contribute from the design stage. Today, we have the capability of contributing to your BIM model by taking the BBBS format from that BIM model and doing that cutting and bending for you. So this is how Tata Steel is actually innovating in a big sense. We have got a design detailing team. We want to do cut and bend for you. And moreover, we are also into welded wire fabrics, which are available from 2 mm to 12 mm instead of conventional 8, 10, 12 mm reinforcement sizes. So those who understand design can very well understand that reducing diameter by 1 mm without changing anything in the design requirement, which generally, if you need 9 mm rebar, but you're going to give 10 mm only, you can save up to 25 to 30% of your steel. That's how we can make it economical. So this is how we accept the challenge, and we want to be your, not just the steel supplier, we want to be your partner in the value chain. So that's what we do.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Interesting thing he raised about BIM and sharing BIM information. Dr. Parmeshwar, we can come back to you, and we don't have to talk just about airport projects, but in general, companies like yours, Afcons, Tata Projects, etc. Are your subcontractors or partners able to access same data environment?
So now I think recently most of our projects we implement the common data environment, CDE. So where what we do is that, like exactly Prashant told, let me also support what you said, even what we do, but unfortunately we are not strategically aligned with Tata Steel, but your competitor JSL, we are very strongly associated in most of the major projects what we do, even though we make this model, we make the BIM or even our ETAPS model, we share with them, and they take it to Tekla further, and they do the complete, the value engineering, economize it, and they work out the exact quantities, including cutting, then including fabricators. So generally, that is what is a very good way of working, particularly for the airport terminal where a huge volume of steel, the roof structure is, the steel. So there, that's a very, very right way of doing the work. I think L&T does same thing. Tata or every major contracting companies have this kind of strategic agreement. I fully I want to support you for that. And second on this CD, what we do now is that, as I said in the bidding stage itself, we develop this BIM model. Then during construction stage, what we do is that we set up this common platform. It could be anything, Naviswork or ProjectWise or whatever, where, the point is that, in this multiple stakeholders, so many stakeholders are there, and I've seen cases where probably a GFC was revised 6 months back, but still in the site, people do not know, they still execute with the old drawings. So this has to go.
Right.
So what we do now is that we need to have a single source of truth. Rather, so many people having different truth, right? So what we do, this data is centralized at one place. Then this same model, anybody can be accessed. The only thing is different permissions are given. Somebody can edit it, somebody can only view it, somebody can approve it, somebody can raise a query, whatever it is.
Right.
And so that everybody access the same data, even if a drawing is revised and updated,
Right.
the guy will be able to access the same thing. Complete approval process we can do there. Even the estimation and the costing be incorporated there. It goes to 5D level. So there, even the billing, the quantities can be taken there. So the CD is something, I think it has become popular.
Right.
3 of our major projects now we have implemented, we found it really working well.
Okay. And you mentioned there are different levels of permission for different people. But do organizations like, for example, Surya Roshni, will they also have access to the same?
See, the major vendors need to have access. May not be for, I don't know at what level, what kind of, for example, if Tata, the steel is going to work.
Right.
As I said, they will finally need to have access in our model.
Okay, so it's a need to know basis.
Yeah, and during construction, this model need to be updated because
Right.
see what happened the construction stage, the detailed design, what we are doing is something around LOD 350.
Right.
Now these guys, the vendors who are going to really fabricate, and they have to develop all the drawings, fabricate drawings, everything. So they have to take it further to LOD 400.
Right.
So they further work it, update. So that is what, again, during construction we update it, by the time we complete the project, we need to get an LOD 500 model, which can be finally handed over to the client.
Right.
Which they could utilize it for their asset management or operational maintenance. So that complete transition happens during this construction stage.
Okay. You have something to say?
So that's how, basically, instead of going into a discrete design model, we have moved to the collaborative design model. So anything which is changed by the designer will be now visible to everybody, and whoever needs to access that can access it, and depending on of course, the kind of authorization we give to the people. So that is true. Okay. So one more thing which I wanted to tell here is that these days people are thinking that, okay, what's big deal of making it, in a factory, doing the cutting and bending, or maybe making these meshes in a factory. What's the big deal? Anybody can do it. There's a difference in doing by a steel company and by a construction company. For an example, if you have got repetitive shapes, I'm just highlighting this one construction company who is doing a metro projects. They are looking for 7.2 meter length of rebars. So they can buy the customized but still generate a lot of waste, okay? But getting customized length from different vendors is not an easy task. There's a lead time involved, everything is involved. Imagine there's a off-cut generation of 4.8 meter repetitively. But that off-cut cannot be utilized by the that construction company because they're doing that specific project. But if we are doing it centrally, we are taking care of 10 such similar customers, housing and commercial sectors there, okay? Metro project is there, we can get it utilized. We can optimize the steel consumption, steel wastage. That's what Tata Steel comes into play. And we are also into providing the rebar couplers.
Right.
We are the only steel company which are into rebar couplers as well. So there is no MOQ. We provide you the complete solution with cut and bend along with the couplers.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Mr. Chandramoli, if I can come to you. You are right now working with an airport, but earlier you worked with a contractor. You also worked with a design firm, right? So I have a couple of questions for you relating to that. First is sustainability. We've not talked about sustainability, but sustainability is a big aspect today. So could you tell us, in terms of airport construction, what are the sustainability aspects, for example, in Bangalore that you're looking at, and what are the things that one should look at? Yeah. Is it materials? Is it, recycling? Is it harvesting? What are the different things you're looking at?
I mean, with specific case of, say, Bangalore
Expansion,
airport,
yeah. Mhm.
Our management is completely not only supporting, but I would say driving the whole energy sustainability, natural resources sustainability aspect also. So the complete ESG goals, what we are talking about. So it's driven from the top. And I'm covering a little bit more in my presentation coming up later. But we are talking about not only the operational aspects of, say, energy utilization or the water consumption or things like that, but we try to put it even in the construction aspects of it. How much of waste is generated in the construction? How much we can reduce, how much we can reuse and recycle. And the type, even when we are doing the design aspect of it, we need to use bamboo, which is more sustainable compared to any other material. So those type of thought process went in right at the beginning, driven from the top and saying, let us make it sustainable, not only for operational part of it, but also for the construction part of it. And that was one of the key aspects that we tried to look at.
Very quickly, if I can go back to Dr. Parameshwar, we hear a lot about green materials, green cement, green steel. I asked the same question yesterday. Is it, and I think Mr. Prashant Kumar will have a view on that later on, but is there reality to it, or is it mostly hype? Everyone seems to say we have green cement, everyone seems to say we have green steel. Okay.
No, it's again, as a contracting firm, we generally stick to the contractual stipulations. So mostly, it's the owner's call. So there is a clear stipulation in the contract, and certain percentages are mentioned that you need to minimum use it, So we just go with that.
All right. Okay.
So sometime, yes, it may be economical, sometimes it may not be economical, but...
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mr. Kumar, is there such a thing as green steel?
Yes, there is certain thing called as green steel. People are started looking for steel coming through hydrogen route as well. So I just want to tell you one thing, that now even companies like Tata Steel are coming up with recycled steel-based plants. So we are coming up with one such plant in Ludhiana. We have already started doing this thing. One way of doing or maybe providing a green steel to a construction solution is by optimizing the wastage. Wastage cannot be made to zero, but it can be optimized, and the route through which you choose it. Yeah? For an example, if you're doing it in-house, you're going to generate a lot of waste. Even if you're using couplers, you're going to generate a lot of waste. But if you're doing it at a central level, maybe a construction solution center of Tata Steel, so you can get only finished good, and that's how you can reduce your carbon footprint in a particular project. Because Tata Steel is a steel company, let them handle the scrap. Why are you handling the scrap? So that's how you can call it as a green steel.
Okay, all right. Mr. Singla, I think your colleague wanted me to ask you about the firefighting piping systems in particular. Is there a reason for that? I mean, other than the fact that you supply it?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Regarding
So if
firefighting.
you can tilt the mic a little bit. Just tilt it towards you, that's it. Yeah, should be okay now.
Hello.
Yes, it's okay now.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Regarding firefighting system, we have a lot of very rich experience in supplying the pipes for firefighting, not only in India, but abroad also. Middle East, I think, in all the projects, including Burj Khalifa, airports, big, Jumeirah Beach Towers, Jumeirah Beach Residency, Mall of Emirates. I've been to all these places for, to see the projects after supplying the pipes and before supplying the pipes. The requirements, what I suggest to the concerned authorities, deciding the specifications and the supplementary requirements for firefighting application is a very, sensitive exercise. I have seen at few projects the failure of pipes after passage of maybe couple of years due to the spurious quality of steel used. The steel, I should not name here, was not from any standard supplier standard supplier, a supplier would mean Tata, SAIL, AMNS, and GSW, etc. They are all standard suppliers. The failures which I have experienced, they are from some other suppliers, steel suppliers, having some manufacturing defects. So, deciding the specifications
Right.
and selecting the vendors is a very critical, area.
Yeah, which comes back to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, the compliance.
Right.
Because capacity and capability and credentials
Right.
is very important.
Okay.
Looking at the criticality of the application.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted
So let me
stress upon.
yeah,
firefighting.
let me go back to Mr. Chandramouli. Mr. Chandramouli, let's say you are the client. Do you just leave it to people like Dr. Parmeshwar, right? As in Shapoorji or Tata Projects or whoever it is, to decide these things, or do you get involved at all?
I mean, being very quality conscious and trying to push the envelope. Definitely the client drives the whole aspect through, right from the design stage to the tendering stage. When we sit with the designers and we ask, have you translated what you're thinking? Have you translated it down into the documents that is ready for tender? What about this? What about that? We go through and we ask the questions.
Right.
And when we are having our pre-bid meetings, we make sure the contractors know our expectations and make sure that they're incorporating it. I think Mr. Singla mentioned it, Prashant mentioned it. We have something specific called AESS, architecturally aesthetic structural steel, which we wanted to use for our project. And we sat together with the contractors and we asked them, have you understood what we mean by AESS? Do you know? Have you worked it before? Do you know how to deliver it? Because it's not like bringing any structural steel, any workers coming in and having the steel ending with dents. Even the way that crane handles it, they lifts it up to the location and puts it, it needs to be handled with gloves. I mean, it's a finished product. Do you understand that? How the welding has to be done. So we go into the details. The more we go into the details and the more we make sure the contractor understands it, and down the line the supply chain understands it, only then we can look for a successful delivery. Otherwise it becomes very difficult.
Okay. Dr. Parmeshwar, talking about again selection of vendors or assessment of vendors, do you go through this sort of tendering process each time, or do you simply say, based on our past experience, these guys are okay to work with and these guys are not?
See, it's a mix of both. But before that, let me talk about this quality aspect of material quality, which Singla was mentioning. So let us be very clear that the airport infrastructure, what we are building today, is the best quality infrastructure what we build. There is no doubt about it. Compared to any other building or any other commercial building, any other projects if you take, airport, I think there is absolutely no compromise when it comes to quality, whether it is aesthetic or material quality or anything we talk about. And every project, I know that there is a very stringent process of approval, the sample approvals. Most of the products which will undergo, we are bound to give, multiple samples. Then, along with all the certificates, everything, client and the PMC, they check everything and finally approve. So, the using substandard material somewhere, getting it failed, I think it's very rare case, at least in the airport industry. Other place, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not very familiar.
Right, but not in this case. Okay, we'll take a few questions from the audience now. And any questions on the right? Yes, please. Yeah. First, the lady in the back, then we'll come to you as well, sir. Yeah.
Hi, this is Swati Garg from Bramble. Thanks to the panelists for an insightful session. I have two questions here. One for Mr. Chandramouli and Mr. Parmeshwar here. How do you see the role of BIM, and do you think the full potential of BIM into construction and management has been exploited as yet in construction? And then I have a second question to the manufacturer and the equipment providers here. Have you gone on defining the carbon content of your product so that we as designers can kind of verify it on the drawing boards, how sustainable the product and the designs are going to be?
Right. Thank you. I'm going to ask for very short answers now so that we can have more other questions. Yeah. Mr. Chandramouli, do you want to take it first? And then Dr. Parameshwar, and then Mr. Singla, and then Mr. Kumar. Yeah.
Sure. BIM, I think, is still evolving as far as India is concerned in terms of people getting comfortable, getting to use that. Each time I finish a project, I always feel, oh, we could have done it better after we finish it. But during the time, I think people are always playing catch up and trying to get it done. But there's always this feeling, yes, we should be able to collaborate better and we should be able to get it better. And that can be achieved by following a strict process, a strict system, and very systematically developing the whole thing. And some last minute changes, last rush things come up, and then that keeps left behind in the BIM model to be used. But definitely there are advantages. We are using it, and we can do better.
Okay. Dr. Parameshwar.
Yeah, for me, the BIM is no more a choice. We have no other choice. We have this only way for the future construction. When I told about in a bidding stage, the 2D drawings what we are getting, that is not okay for us to even take out the quantity. In an EPC mode, we finally give one number. So to get that number, we need to quantify everything. Okay. So what we do, the BIM, we develop the BIM. From BIM is much accurate when it comes to quantity takeoff. Then during construction, as I earlier mentioned, we have to develop it, every stakeholder, but there's a resistance. I understand, particularly in a lot of stakeholders are there. Many people are not comfortable with the BIM. Even there is one case, a major project happening in Delhi. The PMC is refusing. We set up a CD, but they don't have. We are given multiple trainings, but still they don't access. Then we are forced to again give the hard copies for approval, and because these kind of processes are there. So there is a resistance. I think it's a matter of time. Another 5 years down the line, you will find without BIM, nothing will. No industry, wherever it is happening, whichever the industry, construction will happen.
Right. Carbon content, Mr. Kumar, and then Mr. Singla.
Yeah. So proudly saying that Tata Steel Solutions, the steel solutions are the first to get the Green Pro certificate in the product category. So we have got all the relevant studies done available for supporting the thing.
So you're able to provide the information?
Yeah, we are ready to provide you all
Mr. Singla, carbon content, are you able to provide information to Ramboll or people like Ramboll?
Yeah, as the ma'am was mentioning about the carbon footprints.
Yeah, carbon content, carbon footprint,
Yeah, we are very much conscious at Surya Roshni. First of all,
are you able to provide that information to them?
No, what I can say is we are the simply converters of HR coils into pipes. So HR coils we procure from the companies which are already into complying into this. As I already mentioned, Tata Steel, we have got MOU with them. Mm-hmm. That is the main component, main input for our product. So Steel Authority and
right.
So they are already
I guess maybe,
to this.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Singla, I think they may want more information. During the tea break, perhaps you can explain that to you as well. Because more and more clients who have ESG requirements are asking for that information. Okay. Mr. Shukla from Schneider, yeah.
I mean, anyone of you can answer this question. This is extending to what Swati asked about 5D implementation during the construction phase. And it's happening, it's real. I mean, people are seeing the advantage. I'm speaking about taking it to a next level in the sense that the design which we built during the construction phase, the digital twin of it taken into the operate phase, where it is very exactly known where the assets are lying, and if the new assets are to be added up, do we have enough space? How do we run the piping through and all that? Are you seeing any of this getting implemented? Using the digital twin from the construction phase, taking its full potential during asset management in operate phase.
Okay. Yeah, let me go to Mr. Chandramouli first. For Bangalore Airport, are you looking at digital twin? Do you have a digital twin?
Yeah, we do have a digital twin, and we are planning to use it. We are already in process of developing the asset management tool with collaboration with IBM and Maximo.
Okay.
So we are doing
So you'll
that.
be using it for operation and maintenance as well?
Yes.
Not just in the construction phase?
Not just in construction.
I
So
think we are
it's
seeing more
extended
and more,
further out.
Mr. Shukla, our own experience when we interact with clients does say that people are now beginning to realize the importance of digital twins for O&M point of view. It used to be mostly an upgrade from BIM in a way for construction point of view. Dr. Parmeshwar, you and me have talked about this even before. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so the ultimate purpose when you are investing, money in BIM and CDC, it's hardly, I think, the major project. The investment required is around 0.1% of the project cost, nothing more than 0.1 to 0.15% of the project cost. But when we make this investment, the goal is to take it up to that level and hand it over to the client so that they can use it for asset management. But the challenge where the issues happens, I'll tell you. The practical thing I'm telling you, because the multiple, the stakeholders, whether it is vendor or the contractor or the client, need to, export this model to a different platform where, see, there's a big challenge we are facing. The different technology providers are there. There's no handshake between them. The Revit, if it is exported to Tekla, you will find thousands of arrays. To fix that, it needs so many days of work. Same thing with the ETAPS to Tekla or everywhere. So in that process, somewhere what happened, they take it, they further develop it. Now further again, importing it back to BIM, there's a challenge. So somewhere this is lost. And under the pressure, by the time we complete the project, you may not get that exactly that LOD 500 model. This is what is happening at the site.
Okay, thank you. Any question from here? Yes, please. Sorry, there are a number of questions, so I'll ask for even shorter answers. Yes.
My question is to Mr. Prashant. What is the quantum of steel you take orders on for a particular project? Say, some component is left out, so if you want to share that with you, okay, you supply us the steel in cut to size and bend to shape. So what is the minimum quantum you need?
So for cut and bend requirement, we supply minimum 1 trailer load. That's like around 15 tons minimum model. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Hi, I was listening to the challenges you all mentioned, so I was thinking solutions that we have given to our clients as PMC. My question would be like, shortly, if you can share your views in regards to the value a project management consultant is adding to an airport project or in a project, based on your local experience, international experience?
Okay, yeah, I think, and both of them have that. Your view on the role of PMC. Yeah, Dr. Parmeshwar and then Mr. Chandramouli after that. Yeah. And of course, he's from Turner, and Turner is a PMC for your
So
for the organization you used to work for.
Yeah, yes. I know that. Yes. See, I think you must be knowing how the industry works. Yes, theoretically, the PMC's role is perfect. But what happens is when you are going for a competitive bid to fix a PMC, that is where the issues are happening, right? So all these multinational agencies put their bid. Finally, you are going to choose the L1 bidder. Then you need to get a lot of resources on board, right? So what you are looking is, looking into the market where this floating population is there. From there, you pick up the resources. So to be very brutal reply, as a contractor, my experience is that many times the people sitting on the PMC side, we find difficulty, like for example, BIM, they don't know how to access, they don't have the capability, or even a technical submission is made, they take their own time to assess it, review. So I think the quality, if the quality of the people a PMC is able to bring and there is a time-bound commitment, is the right approach. So there, I think this competitive bidding has to go. The client has to select a PMC who can work with them closely and agree upon, mutually agreed terms, sign a contract. Then PMC will work well.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, before we have time just for one or two questions only. Just one question, Mr. Kumar, I wanted to ask you, because you earlier talked about adding value to the airport projects. Can you give us one example of where this was done?
Okay, so in airports, I will talk about the Delhi International Airport. It was the monsoon season. They were making this trapezoidal drain. So they were facing this challenge of putting the reinforcement for doing the concrete work. So we helped them with our solution of mesh. It's welded via fabric called a smart fab. 5 mm mesh delivered in the form of rolls. They used it in the form of fabric. So working in a slope, making that mesh in the reinforcement mesh is a challenge. So earlier they were doing very small patches, like hardly 8 meters of length in a day. Today they are doing more than 30 meters, 35 meters in a day.
Okay.
So that's the difference which we have brought. We saved around 35% of the steel as well.
Yeah. And I guess that's another way to look at it is the sustainability.
Yes.
If you reduce the amount of material used, regardless of whether it is steel or cement or anything else, that also means you're reducing the carbon footprint in that respect. Okay, sir. One last question there. A short question and a short answer, please. Then we have
So
to close.
my question is to Hari. In the start of the conversation, you mentioned that there's one person who kind of drives the entire project or who has the capacity to drive the project. What part of the table, like which side of the table do you think ideally he or she should be placed at, whether it is the contractor or the consultant or the client? And I would also like to hear Mr. Rajamouli's view on, Chandramouli's view on this, on the same point.
Sorry, just one question, the first one, and who do you want to address it to?
First is to Hari and Mr. Chandramouli's view.
Okay, so maybe just a 15-second answers on each one.
In fact, I mentioned that time that that person can sit anywhere. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
all right. So
Because
anywhere.
that leader emerges from that system, right?
Okay.
He has to drive.
Mr.
He has to
Chandramouli,
tomorrow
do you
get the
agree?
things cleared and drive.
Do you agree or do you have a...
The most suited location to be would be the client.
Yes, that's what I was thinking you would say. Yes. Okay. All right. I think that makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory. But we'll end the session. It's been a very interesting session. And for that, we are grateful to Mr. Singla.